have to go to. You see what they do when they infuse the cat? Sometimes they make an incision in the abdomen here. So when you were dissecting, we will dissect the other side, okay, and then we leave this side because we leave one side intact as a reference, so you could see. You see what I'm saying, my good friends? This time they were good enough not to suture the skin onto the muscle, onto the tissue. You know what I'm saying? But this is where they would have made the hole somewhere. You see it right here? Okay, so when we dissect, we go to the other side. We don't dissect on this side. So that's one of the things I look at when I look at your cat. If you dissect on this side, when you're doing the abdominal muscles on this side, this is gonna be in your way. So you wanna do. Oh, bless you. That was a good one. Very powerful. It really cleared it up. I feel like blowing my nose, so excuse me, guys. So there you go. Bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. You always have to have the blunt end towards the cat. You see what I'm saying? Normally, I don't do all of it. The cat, the what if the tail. How am I doing for time? Crap. My God. Oh, did I get you? I'm sorry. Do you see what I did there? And I got that. So now I'm gonna come over here. My tray is all slippery and stuff. Okay, very good. Very good. So it's a good thing we got a male and female. Isn't that lovely? So we get the best of both worlds. And I can even show you next time. I'll show my other lab, this one, so they can see the male. You know what I'm saying? And you guys, I'll show you the female in a little bit. But that'll be next time, okay? Because that's when we have more time. You can see the jugular vein already over here. Sometimes the teeth are sharp. You don't want to go there too sometimes, you know. But they usually sometimes even have like a sponge in there to protect a little bit. So I have to be careful. I gotta remind myself. You guys don't have to skin, so you guys are lucky. Well, but I still need you to know the skill to do it. Skinning humans is even harder. Yeah. I did a little bit, but not a whole lot. That's how I know it's hard. I did it just a little bit. I removed it just a little bit. Yeah, it's real hard to skin a human. You have to be very patient. Okay, my good friends, we are almost done here. Well, not quite, but we're almost. You know, the skin is especially tough, especially for a male cat in here because of the testosterone in the legs. But I got lucky that I chose the fluffiest one. Usually the fluffy ones are not that hard. There's this sort of muscle that twitches the skin sometimes, that sort of remains covering the muscle, so you just want to be careful sometimes. This is really hard over here. I'm gonna have to cut some of this connective tissue around because it's just refusing to, you know what I'm saying? see this connective tissue, so that's why you gotta remove it, because otherwise it will remain covering the muscles and you don't see nothing. You just see the white. I wish I had like a scrub nest. I would go for my gloves, for my glasses. There you go. But the scrub nurse is also very important, because she makes sure, or he makes sure, that all the instruments that you started off with are still at the table after you switch at close the person or the person you're working on. Because sometimes they've left the scissors in there, you know what I mean? So you have to make sure, if you started with 10 instruments, by the end of the surgery you still have 10 instruments. You see what I'm saying? Because the doctor will be busy trying to make sure this patient is safe and stuff like that. And so sometimes they're not really counting, you know, these things. So you gotta make sure that before you switch at the patient shot, you got all the things you even the sponges, the the gauzes that you're using. You wanna make sure you count all of them too, because you wanna leave a gauze in there. And that's even worse to find, because it's kind of soft. It's not as opaque as you can put through an X-ray. You can see a scissors there. Excuse me, I need to blow my nose. You see what I'm saying, my good friends? So there are small things that seem like menial, but they're very important. You know what I'm saying? Very important. You can't take anything for granted. You have to be attention to detail. You've got to be detail oriented. You see what I'm saying? You gotta just like everything to the T. You can't make a mistake. You know what I mean? Well, you do make mistakes. I mean, it happens, but you want to do the best you can to avoid it. I think I may have to take a break to blow my nose. This part is like really... I don't want to rip my muscle together with the skin. You see how thick the skin is compared to under here, especially around the head. The skin is the thickest. You see what I'm saying? And if it's male like this, forget about it. It's like you see how it's getting thicker. See how it's getting thicker and thinner over here. So yeah, so that's what I'm dealing with right now. The spinal deltoid, do you see that? Because I'm doing my best to make sure the connective tissue goes with it. Some of this is like fatty fat. We can remove some of that at the end. My God, this one is gonna give me like all sorts of problems. It's now like so slippery, you know what I mean? Let me do the last limb real quickly. Yeah, the male cat is not only more difficult to do because of the reproductive area, but also because of the testosterone. The skin is harder, everything is, you know, kind of tougher. So that's one of the only other things. But I'm liking that we have both female and male cat. See this connective tissue? I'm gonna make sure that it goes there with the... So you wanna do the bottom side, be the one that where the circular or the rounded part of the scissors is. Like this. Okay, I'm almost done. Once I do this, then I'll try to pull this skin around the head, and then we'll be done. Okay. At least we have learned that the male cat is not the easiest to skin. It's the only one that was there that would have, at least that had a fairy skin. If it it's fur, it's got lots of fur on it, usually it's better, but otherwise it's gonna be extra tough. There you go, my good friends. There's only one forearm muscle that we do. I want to make sure that it stays intact, that we don't get to ruin it, especially on the side that we're going to dissect. These blood vessels, they kind of flipped on us and they're on the cat. So I'm gonna just have to cut, try and peel it off. See, this blood vessel got okay, my good friends, because this connective tissue is so tough, I had to kind of do some maneuvering a little bit on this one. Do you see what I'm saying? This blood vessel here was like really some of this is part of that muscle that twitches. I hope I didn't get into my latissimus dorsi here. But I think it's that, looks like it's that muscle that twitches the skin. So I got a little bit of my latissimus dorsi, but that's okay. You can forgive me. Okay, very good. It's just around the head. And this one had like monstrous skin. Monstrous. Yes, I hope I didn't get too much of my latissimus dorsi here. And some of this would be the, yeah, there's the latissimus dorsi a little bit. Yeah. And here we just have to expose the clavotrapezius, trapezius. For the most part, you will notice that the names of the muscles, for the cat, you just remove the prefix. Like for instance, so clavotrapezius here that I'm gonna cut around in a little bit. If you could just bear with me, and then we can go home. And then, so that's the clavotrapezius, trapezius. And then this is the acromiotrapezius, trapezius, and this is the spinotrapezius, trapezius. So it's like a trapezium. That's why it's trapezius, trapezius in the human. So in this class, whenever I name a muscle, I will say it twice. If it's the same like the latissimus dorsi, latissimus dorsi, latissimus dorsi, for the you know what I'm saying, for the human. So I'm gonna do this here. I think I can remove a little bit more from the head later. For now, so I'm just gonna do this. one was hard, but I really went as fast as I could. See what I'm saying, my good friend? Because we would want to see the jugular in them guys over here. We may have to remove it additionally. So there you go. Here, because it was so tough, we kind of ruined a little bit of our latissimus dorsi, because this is the latissimus dorsi. And what happens is that so here we tore this a little bit, but you know, because the skin was really attached to it. But this is the spinal trapezius, there's the acromiotrapezius, and there's the clavotrapezius. So in the human, it's like that. It's like a trapezium. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's trapezius. So this clavotrapezius, when it gets here to the deltoid, to the shoulder, you see there's this connective tissue line here. So it becomes the clavodeltoid or clavobrachialis. It's still deltoid in the human. So this will be clavobrachialis or clavodeltoid. In the human, it's still deltoid. You see what I'm saying? So if you call it clavodeltoid, it's deltoid in the human. If you call it clavobrachialis, it is still deltoid in the human. But here, when we say, I just wanted to show you that I could have stopped the skinning part, but since we are out of time, I just wanted to show it in the same video. You see here is the levator scapulae, like when you're shrugging like this, it's attached to the scapula and it will shrug the arm like that, the shoulder. So this muscle here runs underneath the clavotrapezius like this. So these are thin muscles. So when you are dissecting, you want to first locate where the levator scapulae is, which is going to be, where's my deal? Where's my probe? Okay, you see here, that's the levator scapulae. So you want to start dissecting here. Separating this trapezius from the levator scapulae, so that you don't cut through this. You see, because it's going under like that. So you want to separate this first, so that you don't cut this levator scapulae. So that's some of the things I ask.